أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everybody to Thursday's class. Jazakumullah for arriving very early. Let's go straight away to our opening prayers. And if I can ask my colleague to bring a student to the mic, please. If I may have a student to the mic, please.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. G2623, please unmute yourself.
G2623. Wa alaikum assalam, darling. How are you?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, sweetheart. So we start our prayers, our class with prayers. Dawood is the first thing. So if you can follow with me, everybody else at home, please also follow. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Here we go. And then it'll become a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
MashaAllah, mashallah, very nice. Okay, just be a little bit careful on this lam here with that little W sign, that tashdid on top. Billahi,
Billahi,
mashallah. Okay, and the English translation, darling.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected.
Well done, mashallah. So you seek refuge, you seek safety and protection with Allah from Satan, who is the rejected. Okay, sweetheart, the bit in the blue box, can you read that as well, please? Here at the bottom.
Why we recite dua before reciting the Quran, Allah tells us in chapter 16, verse 99, and when the reciters Quran seek refuge with Allah from Satan rejected.
MashaAllah, very nice. So this is why we always do Dawood before we start reciting Quran, because Allah commands us to do so. Okay, and in class, we do it at the beginning of class, and then we can carry on reading the Quran because we're doing all things to do with Quran. So we don't have to do it again and again and again in class. But if you're reciting Quran and then you stop and you go somewhere else to do something else, and then you come back, then you must do Dawood again. Okay, mashallah, very nice. Now then, Tasmiyah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
MashaAllah, very nice. Again, with this lam here, make sure you stretch the sound for 2 counts, okay? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Well done. And then what does it say for the translation, darling?
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful.
Well done. And if you could read the bit in the blue box, please, darling.
Reciting Bismillah before every deed invokes the blessing of Allah upon that deed. It is sunnah to recite before every good deed.
MashaAllah, very nice. So what we're saying there is that you should recite Bismillah before anything that you do, because you bring the Allah's approval, Allah's blessing upon that deed. Okay, and if and it says it is sunnah to recite it. Sunnah means it was the practice of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. It was his practice to recite Bismillah before he did any deed, and that's why it's best to it's advisable to do the tasbih beforehand. Okay, right then. So now let's move on to today's prayer, which is today is Thursday. So let's go to Thursday. Here we go. Okay, so sweetheart, we're going to read this dua, and if you repeat with me, Allahumma. Sweetheart, are you there? Allahumma. I've lost this student. So if I can ask my main teacher,
Yeah.
the support. Oh,
Yeah.
assalamu alaikum, darling. Okay, so sweetheart, repeat with me. Allahumma
Allahumma
inni
inni
well done. As'aluka
as'aluka
ilman nafi'a
illa
ilman.
ilma
Okay, let's do it bit by bit, yeah?
ilman
So you say man
ilman
nafi'a.
nafira
Mashallah. Okay, not to worry, yeah. If you practice it again and again, inshallah, by the end of the course, you'll be able to say this very, very nicely and fluently. And the English translation, darling.
Oh Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Yes, well done. There's big words here, isn't there? Beneficial knowledge, which means knowledge that will be of benefit to you. And what does it say here, darling?
IBN Majah Hadith N925.
Okay, well done. Okay, so this is pronounced as Ibn Majah. Okay, hadith number 925. A hadith is a saying of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So anything that he said is known as a hadith. A hadith, which is written here in the blue box, a hadith is the plural of hadith. So you get one hadith and many ahadith. Okay, ahadith have been collected and they've been put together and recorded. This dua here can be found in a collection known as Sunan Ibn Majah. Okay, so this is what that means. Maybe your parents will be able to give you more explanation later on, okay? But that's what a hadith is. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, darling. Assalamu alaikum for now. Okay, so now we'll go straight into our schedule. And today we've done our opening assembly. We're going to now practice the rule for today, which is actually practicing what we revised yesterday, which was sukoon. So we'll go to exercise 12.3 in the Talimul-Quran and practice from there. Then you will continue with Surah An-Naziyat and practice reading that. The letter of the day follows with the letter today being Ha. And then we'll have a special presentation for 10 minutes on the importance of timing. And we will conclude the class with announcements and closing dua. Okay, so if I can just ask my colleagues in the class, yes, they are here. Okay, so if I can now have a student to the mic.
G62553, please unmute yourself.
G62553, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, darling?
I'm good.
Alhamdulillah, very good, darling. Okay, sweetheart. We are now going to practice lesson number 12 from the Talimul-Quran. Big word here, quiescent. Okay, we're going to deal with sukoon letters. Now, yesterday we actually revised those, and today we're going to practice from this exercise here. And a quick reminder: there is a word sakin. Sakin means that you miss out a vowel. So there are no vowels on top of a letter like here, okay? There's no strokes. When an Arabic letter bears the sign of sukoon, it is called sakin. So here we have a sakin seen because it carries a sukoon. Another name for it is jazm. And when we see a sakin letter, we need to join it to the most recent mutaharik letter, the most recent letter that carries a stroke. So, for example, here we would say al. Here we would say ham. This is a straightforward do. When we put it all together, we say alhamdu. Okay, so sweetheart, let me clear up the screen and then let's have a practice of here, okay? Here, we have a sakin seen. It's going to join with this alif with a kasra. Is. Repeat with me. Is.
Is.
Well done. Sakin kaf joins with this mutaharik ta. Tak.
Tak.
And when we put them together, is stuck.
Is stuck.
And here we say bara.
Baro.
Well done. And when we put these together, bit by bit, we say is stuck bara.
Is stuck. Baro.
Well done. Now here we have exactly the same letters as we've just practiced, but they're joined up and they look slightly different. Okay, the ta here, it's only the bend part. Okay, the very first part of the ta that's there, the two dots. The kaf has a little bit missing, and the ba looks slightly different as well. The dot on the bottom tells us it's a ba, but this is exactly the same as these here. So when we read this, we say istakbara.
Istakbaro.
Well done. Okay, let's move on to an example here. Sakin lam joins with this alif with a fatha. Al.
Al.
Well done. Ki.
Ki.
Well done. Al ki.
Al. Ki.
And here, whoops a daisy. Here. Tabu.
Tabu.
Well done. When we put them together, al kitabu.
Al. Kitabu.
Well done. Now here, these are the same letters, but they're joined up. So we read them as al-kitabu.
Al-kitabu.
Well done. Okay, so let's move on to exercise here, 12.3. Let's go to here, okay? So if you follow with me, darling, okay? And then everybody else can listen and they can also follow, okay? So we'll start here. Athmara.
Asmaro.
Well done. Miryatin.
Miryatin.
Whoops, a daisy. Okay, here. Sodaraka.
Sodaraka.
Mashallah. Here. Ashhurun.
Ashkurun.
Okay, so
Hurun.
this, well done. So take a deep breath. That's how you make that sound, yeah? Ashhurun.
Ashhurun.
Well done. Okay, so let's move on to here. Usbatun.
Usbatun.
Very nice. Yahsabu.
Yasabu.
Well done. Whoops a daisy. Here we go. Nasyan.
Nasyan.
Well done. And here. Yahluqu.
Yahulu.
Okay, so there's a lam here, then there's a qaf, yeah? Yahluqu.
Yahluqu.
Mashallah, very, very nice. Okay, so you have read very, very nice. Your pronunciation is very good. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Assalamu alaikum and Allah Hafiz for now. So now we will move to Surah An-Naziyat. Okay, where are we here? Here we are. Okay, and the main teacher for today will read from where we finished yesterday, which was, let me just find it. Okay, just bear with me for a second. Oh, where have I gone here? Sorry. Okay, so it's going to be from the start of verse number 38. Here. Okay, so if I can ask the main teacher to read from here. Sorry, here. This is where you'll start from, okay? Okay, so if the main teacher can share her screen and then do the teaching for the chapter, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I hope you can hear me. Okay, can I please have a student to the mic?
G2579, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, G2579. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. G2579, can you hear me? Can we have another student?
G2589, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, G2589.
Welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullah. How are you today?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we'll be reading from over here. I think this is where the teacher said we will be reading from today. So go ahead and start reciting.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, would you like me to help you to recite in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go slow. If you do, I'll recite, and if you could just follow after me. So وَبُرِّ
وبري
ذَاتِ
ذا
الْجَحِيمِ
شهيم
Well done, mashallah, you're doing really well. Liman.
لمن.
So when we're joining this meme with this ya here, we'll be joining it without the noon. So limayya
لمن
ra.
يو
Well done, mashallah. Okay. Fa'amma
فأما
man
من
ta. This ta is quite thick and round, and this ra is also thick and round. So ta.
طغى
Well done, mashallah. You're reading really well. Okay. Wa'a الحياة
الحياة
الدنيا.
الدنيا.
You're reading really well. Would you like to try this verse here? Because you read it very well. Would you like to read that? Go ahead.
وآثر الحياة الدنيا.
MashaAllah, you did really, really well. MashaAllah, well done. Okay, and you can see the sukoon here. Can you see this lam here?
Yes.
So the lesson that you just learned just now, it was the lesson for sukoon. And this is a sukoon, and it's also called a jazm. And you can see here that there's a sukoon above. Which letter is it?
Huh?
The one before it. What's the letter before it?
No. Alif.
Yes, it looks like an alif, but it's actually not an alif. This one here is an alif. Can you see that on there? That's an alif.
Yeah.
This one here is a lam, and above the lam you can see a jazm, a sukoon, and before it, it joins on to the letter ra. In this case, that's the lesson that you just learned. So you can see the example here. In this case, وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the rule of sukoon. And anytime you see a jazm, this is a joining letter, and it joins onto the letter preceding it, before it, that carries a stroke. Okay, so do you want to read one more verse? Keep going. Would you like to read?
Yes.
Go ahead.
وَإِنَّ الْجَحِيمَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى.
MashaAllah, you read very, very well. How old are you?
5.
5. MashaAllah, you read exceptionally well. You've learnt the Holy Quran very, very well, MashaAllah. Keep doing that as you're reading, and well done, Jazakallah. Thank you, G2589. Okay, can we have another student, please?
G2594, please unmute yourself.
G2594, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Alhamdulillah. Okay, do you want to read? So if you start, and let's see.
Okay.
Would you like some help?
No thanks.
Okay, go ahead and recite.
وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى.
Okay, mashallah, you read very, very well. So I'm going to quickly read with you, and when you stop, this changes into Rabbi. And you did read, you stopped there correctly. But I'm going to quickly read with you. So وَأَمَّا
وَأَمَّا
مَنْ خَافَ
مَنْ خَافَ
مَقَامَ
مَقَامَ
رَبِّهِ.
رَبِّهِ.
So when you come to a stop here, this turns into a sakin ha, and then you continue. وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى.
وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى.
Okay, mashallah. Okay, so keep going. If you read the next one.
فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى.
Okay, mashallah. So in the previous lessons last week, you were learning the recitation in terms of timing, in terms of the vowels, the short vowels and the long vowels. When you see this is, what is this stroke called?
It's a fatha.
And how long do we recite a fatha for?
1 second.
Okay, and sometimes what happens while we're reciting, we don't realize that we're elongating where we don't need to, and we're shortening it where we don't need to as well. So whilst you're reciting, just remember to do, if this is a 1 second letter, then recite it for 1 second. Okay, so do you want to try that again?
Okay. فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى.
MashaAllah. Okay, that was much, much better. And again, this here is the lesson that we just went through. So you can see the lam sakin here, which is joining onto the ja, jal. Okay, ma, wa, again here. Okay, do you want to continue reading?
Yes. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ أَيَّانَ مُرْسَاهَا.
Okay, mashallah, well done. Okay, do you want to read the next verse as well?
فِيمَ أَنْتَ مِنْ ذِكْرَاهَا.
Okay, so when you come across a sakin letter, try to say it like without you've got a slight jerk sound over here. You're saying dhik, it's dhik. Try to just hold on to it for 1 second and try not to move the letter. So read that again. If you could read from here, min dhik.
Min dhik.
That's much better. Okay, so read the whole words here, part of this verse.
Min dhikraha.
Min dhikraha.
Min dhikraha.
MashaAllah. Okay, very well done. Jazakallah. Excellent. That was really good reading. Excellent. Jazakallah G2594. Can I have another student, please?
Allah Hafiz.
Jazakallah.
G2604, please unmute yourself.
G2604, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Good to have you with us. Okay, do you want to read from here?
Yes. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim.
Okay, can we go through the ta'uz just once? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Jazakallah. Okay, and you are aware that because we've recited the ta'awuz and tasmiyah in the beginning of the lesson, you don't have to read it here if you don't wish to. Okay, do you want to go continue reading? So sorry, start reading. Go ahead from here.
Ila.
Would you like me to read? I will read and you can follow. How's that?
Ila. Rabbil Muntaha.
Okay, let me help you. So what I would like to do is if I can just read for you, and if you could copy what I'm reading. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Innama anta munzi rumayyakhshaha Mashallah, you're doing really well. Keep going. Okay. Ka'annahum yawma. Okay. Yawma yarau. Naha lam yal. Illa ashiya. Shia. There's no noon here, so shia. It's just joining on this. Yes. Tan au duhaha. Excellent. Jazakallah. You recited that really well. Some of those words were quite tricky as well, and you managed it very, very well. So well done for reciting that. Okay, Jazakallah for that. Allah Hafiz, Jazakallah. We have time for one more student quickly, if we can just ask another student to join us.
G2619, please unmute yourself.
G2619. Assalamu alaikum, G2619. G2619, are you there?
G262.
Assalamu alaikum, G2619, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, do you want to start reciting?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you'll be reading from here. You can see where the yellow dot is, yeah? Is that clear on screen?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read. Do you want to? Okay, I'm going to recite for you. So we're reading from here. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, I'll help you. So let me just quickly recite that for you. Waburriza الجحيم الجحيم He. This is a ha here, over here, yeah, and it's a really strong sound that comes from your throat. Jahim. Okay, Jazakallah. Liman yara.
لمن يرى
Reciting this noon is only partially recited. لمن يرى.
لمن يرى
Okay, Jazakallah. Can you see this rule here, this lam here? So that's a lam. What mark does it carry above it?
الكسر
This lam here, what's that mark above it? That is the lesson that you've just learned. This is a sukoon, it doesn't. When you see this, it joins onto the letter with that is mutaharik. Mutaharik means a letter with a stroke above or beneath it that joins onto it. So til, okay? So this is a lesson you were reciting before. So this is a sukoon and this is a lam. This makes this a lam sakin, okay? And it joins onto the letter before it. That was a rule that you were reciting. Okay, Jazakallah. That's all we have time for. Till we quickly go on to the next sabak. So Jazakallah G2 619. And today we're going on to the letter of the day, which is Ha. Can you see? I hope you can see on my screens. You see the letter Ha. And this letter starts here, and as you follow it, this it's just a little round circle. And this letter comes from the bottom of the throat. So as if you were, it comes really from your lungs and your chest. So it's a soft ha. It's this sound, this letter sounds like this, ha. Okay, so as you can see, it has no dots above it or below it anywhere, and it's just a round circle. This can join to the previous letter, and it can join to the next letter. So it can have a letter before it, and it can have a letter after it as well. And here you can see the three states it's in. So this is its initial state, the ha, here, over here, if you can see at the bottom, just there, that's the first state. So that's where it's the first part of the word. And in this case, as you can see, it joins onto an alif after it. And that makes it a ha. And in this case, it's joining in the beginning with a letter coming after it. In this case, which is the medial, which is when you find this letter between a word, where there is a letter joining previous to it and after it. So you can see there's a ya, a slightly boat-shaped ya, join onto the ha, and you can see its shape has changed. In the beginning, you can see here too. So from over here, where you can see this, that's the original form, but when it's written, it can be written like this as well. And in the beginning, it looks like this. In the middle, it looks like this. And the sound is ha. And after, you can see the dal that is joining, it goes away from it and joins onto it like this. Okay, and then if it was at the end of the word, you would see it like this. It looks like this. So this is the ha. So you can see the beginning, if it was attached at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So that's what this letter looks like. So that's the letter of the day. And I'll hand it over back to my colleague, and she can do her presentation. And then if we have time, we can go ahead with the rest of the lesson.
Jazakallah. Okay, so I am supposed to be sharing my screen, so bear with me for a second. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Okay, so today we have a presentation, and this is one of the special presentations that we'll do every now and again within the course. And it's on the importance of timing. So how long we spend on strokes and why it is important to do the right timing. Okay, so let's start by looking at this example here. Or, we read that for 2 counts. Or, and then la for 1 count. Or la. Now the meaning of this is he said. Now if you look at this example here, okay, it looks very, very similar. We've got the same qaf and alif and lam, but there's an extra alif at the end. If we were to read this one on the left-hand side properly, we would read that as ole. So the same sound, but the timing is slightly different on the lam, okay? From the first one, which is ole, to the second one, which is ole. the extra timing has changed the meaning of the word. It has gone from being he said to they said. So the timing has made a difference to the meaning. Okay, so that was one example. Let's look at another example. Maliki. All short strokes, 1 count each. Maliki means king. Now, same letters, but the meme now has a vertical fatha, which means that the timing on that sound will go from 1 count to 2 counts. The actual sound is the same, ma, but the time that we spend on it is different. So we go from, on the right hand side, Maliki, which means king, to Maliki. And that means master. So we can have the same letters, the same sounds, but because the timing is different, the meaning on the word has changed. So that was a second example. Let's look at another one. La rayba. La rayba. This means no doubt. Now, if we were to read without stretching the lam sound for 2 counts and read it like this on the left-hand side with the red lam, we would say la rayba. Same sounds, but the timing is different on the lam. La rayba. And this means sure doubt. So here, not only has the meaning changed because of the timing, it's actually completely turned the meaning completely around. It means the opposite. So from la rayba, which means no doubt whatsoever, to la rayba, which means that there is some doubt. There's definitely some doubt. So the timing there has not just changed the meaning, but it's actually reversed the meaning. So let's look at this example here, which many of you will recognize because it occurs right at the beginning of the Quran. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Okay, so we're going to look at this bit here. Okay, لَا رَيْبَ. This means, this particular part of the verse means this is a perfect book. There is no doubt in it. It is a guidance for the righteous. Allah tells us right at the beginning of the Holy Quran that I am Lord of all the worlds. I am here for you. All of you come to me under the umbrella of Islam. Come to me for guidance. Here is a perfect book. There is absolutely no doubt in it. Now imagine if you had read La Rayba incorrectly and changed the timing and read it as La Rayba. You would be reading that Allah is telling you that this is a perfect book and there is, na'uzubillah, definitely doubt in it. You'd completely change the meaning and it's not what Allah is intending. So timing is really important. What you have to remember is that when we are reading the Holy Quran, we are reading the words of Allah. And the words of Allah are guidance for us. Following that guidance will lead us to have happy and useful, productive and fulfilling, peaceful lives because it's guidance from Allah. What we read has a meaning and we must be really careful not to change that meaning. Timings on strokes can affect meanings, as you've seen from the examples. You need to take very great care on timings. Always remember that short strokes, fatha, kasra and dhamma, are 1 count. And long strokes, vertical fatha, vertical kasra, inverted dhamma, are 2 counts. And when you are reading mud letters, okay, so when you see a fatha followed by an alif, a kasra followed by a ya sakin, or a dhamma followed by a waw sakin, those are for 2 counts. Timings are really important. Short strokes always 1 count, long strokes always 2 counts, and mud letters are always for 2 counts. Okay, and that concludes our presentation on timing. And if I can now hand back to the main teacher for you to practice on Surah Naziat and continue practicing. And please do remember to be aware of all the timings that you're reading. Jazakumullah.
Okay, so Jazakallah. Can we have a student to the mic, please?
G2 682, please unmute yourself.
G2 682. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum salam.
Wonderful. Okay. So would you like to start reciting, please? From here, we're going to be reading from here.
Waburizatil jahimul man yara.
Oh, brilliant. You corrected yourself. Well done. Okay, keep going. Next one.
Amma man ya.
Okay. Fa'amma man tagha. Would you like break it down? So fa'amma. Okay, over here you can see the rule of elongation, and this is where we elongate for 2 seconds. This is the same rule that you just learned for the timings in terms of recitation. So in this case, you will be elongating this meme for 2 seconds afterwards, okay? So فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى. So these two are heavy, thick sounds, ta and ra. This here is a ghain. This is a letter we learned in last Thursday's class. This is a ghain, and it's quite a tricky letter. It comes from the top of your throat, and it's expressed quite thickly. So do you want to try that once? Ra. Okay, so فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى. Well done. Okay, so when you come across this letter and it has a fatha, a ishbaya above it, stroke above it, how long are we to recite this for?
2 seconds.
Yes. Okay. So what is this? What is this stroke called?
Vertical fatha.
Okay, brilliant. And you know that it's to be recited for 2 seconds. So don't do it longer than 2 seconds. Okay, so try that again. So فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى.
فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى.
Okay, brilliant. So do you want to read the next one? Bear in mind you've got some ishbayas here and you have to figure out which ones are the short vowels and the longer ones. Go ahead.
وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ
الدُّنْيَا. Okay.
الدُّنْيَا.
Okay, I'll recite it with you and you can copy me. So وَآثَرَ وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ.
وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ
الدُّنْيَا.
الدُّنْيَا.
فإن الجحيم فإن
فإن
but you have to join it onto the lam, so it will be فإن
فإن
الجحيم
الجحيم
هي المأوى.
هي المأوى.
So you're reciting them well. Here you can see this is the ha that we learned today. This is the letter here. I'm just pointing that out. So هي المأوى.
هي المأوى.
Okay. وأما من خاف
من خاف
مقام
مقام
ربه
ربه
ونهى النفس
ونهى النفس
عن الهوى.
عن الهوى.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you, excellent. So Jazakallah G2 682, Jazakallah for your recitation. Well done. Okay, can I have another student, please?
Before that, can I please request all students to click on the link in the chat and submit your attendance for today? Jazakallah.
Okay, I hope all students heard that. There's a link sent in the chat box. If you could click on that and submit it for your attendance for today. Jazakallah. Okay, can I have the next student, please?
G2712, please unmute yourself.
G2712. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. G2712, are you there? Can I have another student, please?
G2726, please unmute yourself.
G2726, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Jazakallah. Okay, do you want to recite from here onwards?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى.
Okay, mashallah, you read very well, and I've seen you've done well with the timings as well of each letter. So keep going.
فإن الجنة هي المأوى.
Okay, so when we're reciting, we do have a tendency to make a mistake, and in this case, so what's happened is that while you're reciting, because you're looking at the next letter, sometimes we elongate it when we don't need to. So bear in mind. So this noon here, how long is this supposed to be recited for?
1 second.
Because it carries a
Fatha.
Okay, well done. So do you want to read that again? Go ahead.
فإن الجنة في المأوى.
Pay attention to what the letters are. This is a ha. Okay, and then in this case, the first time you recited this, you did recite it well. So this noon has to be held on to. You know the rule, I think. So فإن الجنة هي المأوى. Try that.
فإن الجنة هي المأوى. مأوى.
Okay, Jazakallah, that's really good. Well done. That was really good reading. Okay, I think we have time for just one more verse. But I'll recite, you can copy after me. Yes, Alu.
يسألونك
عن الساعة
عن الساعة أيان مرساها.
Okay, mashallah. Jazakallah G2 726.
Alafis.
Jazakallah, you read very well. Okay, so with that, I think it's time to move on to the homeworks and just going through wrapping up. So today's rule that you learned was the rule of the importance of timing. And timing is very important as meanings can change with incorrect timing on strokes. And the practice text for today was chapter 79, verses 38 to 47. We read from verses 32 onwards. And the letter of the day is ha, and the sound comes from the bottom of the throat. And you were shown how it joins on and how it looks in the middle, in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the word. So the reference for this is available online on the Talimul-Quran on page 134 to 137. And the homework for today is to practice the rules. So apply the rules we've revised so far in your daily tilawat. Pay attention to all rules revised so far. And if you have any questions, you can contact us here. And if you want to listen to online tilawat, you can go to alislam.org where you can listen to it, but you can also click here and check on the iOS app for the Talimul-Quran, and the Android app are here, and the website for the G2 classes is here. Okay, so we'll move on to doing the wrap up of the dua. 1 second, let me just quickly skip back to it. Okay, so can I have a student for the dua, please?
G2 751, please unmute yourself.
G2 751, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Before we do the dua, can I just remind everybody to do the attendance that is in the chat box. Just click on the form and it should allow you to lodge your attendance for today. Okay, so do you want to go ahead and recite? I would like to recite, and then if you could follow me.
Okay.
Allahumma arhamni.
Allahumma arhamni
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim.
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim
Waj'alhu li
waj'alhu li
imaman wa
imaman wa
nuran wa
nuran wa
hudan wa
hudan wa
rahmah.
rahmah.
Jazakallah. Would you like to read the translation?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Okay, and Jazakallah. With that, that's the end of our class today. So Jazakallah for joining today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.